beneath an eternal twilight sky, where stars shimmered like scattered gemstones and clouds glowed with an inner luminescence, there floated the grand sky-born kingdom. Suspended on islands of gleaming crystal, the kingdom was a masterpiece of magic and wonder, where rivers of liquid light coursed through the air and silver-winged creatures glided between towering spires of moonstone. At the heart of this world stood the Celestial Palace, its walls woven from strands of stardust, its halls echoing with the whispers of ancient enchantments. Here, Queen Alaris ruled, a being of ethereal grace, with hair like flowing nebulae and eyes that reflected the endless cosmos. She wielded the Ether Crown, an artifact of immeasurable power, binding the skyborn kingdom together. But not all was peaceful in the celestial realm. Far below, in the abyss where the sky met the unseen depths, stirred the shadows of the rift. Creatures of shifting void and endless hunger, they had long been kept at bay by the queen's magic. Yet something had changed. An ancient force had awakened, and the shadows grew bolder. Among the skyborn was a young girl named Leora, an orphan raised in the floating city of Oris. Unlike the nobleborn with their natural affinity for magic, Leora had always struggled to summon even the faintest spark of ether. Yet she dreamt of the stars, of something beyond the world she knew, as if destiny itself whispered her name. One fateful night, as the city lights dimmed for the celestial eclipse, Leora wandered through the crystal streets, her thoughts adrift. It was then she saw it, a dark rift tearing through the sky, writhing with shadowy tendrils. A deep voice, both alien and familiar, called to her from the abyss.
Leora, the balance is breaking. You must come.
A sudden explosion of darkness erupted, and for a moment she felt herself falling into the void. But before she was lost, a hand caught her wrist. She gasped, looking up into the piercing silver eyes of Prince Kalen, heir to the skyborn throne.
You saw it too,
he said, breathless. Leora nodded, unable to find her voice. Kalen pulled her to her feet.
Then you must come with me. The queen has foreseen this night.
Leora had never imagined setting foot inside the Celestial Palace, let alone standing before Queen Alaris herself. The queen studied her with a gaze that saw beyond sight, beyond time.
The rift has called to you,
the queen murmured.
You are bound to it, and so you must be the one to close it.
But I have no magic.
Leora stammered. The queen's lips curved into a mysterious smile.
Magic is not merely power, it is the will to shape the world, and yours has been hidden, waiting for the moment it is truly needed.
Thus, Leora was given a task no skyborn dared face alone. With Kalen at her side, she descended to the edge of the abyss, where the rift pulsed like an open wound in the sky. Creatures of darkness slithered forth, their hollow eyes burning with hunger. Kalen drew his star blade, its edge glowing with celestial fire.
Stay close,
he commanded. As the battle began, Kalen moved like a storm-given form, cutting through the shadows with unerring precision. But for every creature he struck down, more surged forth. Leora clenched her fists. She was powerless, wasn't she? But then she felt it, that same voice from her dreams, calling from within.
You are not powerless. You were never powerless.
Something deep inside her ignited. Light bloomed from her chest, spreading outward in radiant waves. The shadows recoiled, shrieking, as she lifted her hands, golden energy spilling from her fingertips. She was magic, she always had been. With newfound strength, Leora stepped forward, weaving light into form. It took shape, a radiant key of pure energy. Guided by instinct, she thrust it into the heart of the rift. A deafening cry echoed as the darkness writhed, resisting. But Kalen was there, his star blade meeting hers in perfect harmony. Together, their combined magic surged, sealing the wound in the sky. Silence fell. The stars shone brighter, and the oppressive darkness lifted. Leora collapsed, breathless. Kalen knelt beside her, awe in his eyes.
You did it!
He whispered. She looked at her hands, still glowing with golden embers.
We did.
When they returned to the celestial palace, the queen greeted Leora with pride.
You are one of us now,
She declared.
a true Skyborn.
Leora had always believed she was an outsider, destined to remain in the shadows of the great. But now she understood. She had been born for the light. As the kingdom rejoiced and the skies shone anew, Leora stood at the edge of the world, gazing into the infinite stars. She was no longer just an orphan of Aurus. She was a guardian of the sky, and her story had only just begun.